Good afternoon. It's the last day of March, and I thought I'd share a presentation with you that really is about our coping habits and how we can cope well and not so well. And I call this the swing of the pendulum. Let me put the presentation up. This is going to take about 10 minutes, that's all, so not much time to concentrate. But hopefully, if you get one, two, maybe three things out of this, that's been a real bonus to you, especially in this particular town at the moment. So let's just get this up there. Let's just talk it through. Just to remind you, our webinars are at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock each day, Greenwich Mean Time. And every time I do a presentation, I'll upload it to YouTube for you. This is Coronavirus 8, and looking at the pendulum, the swing today. Okay, let's bear with me. Let's get this presentation working. And it's the pendulum of shifting emotions. And really, you can see here that the one of where I'm looking at the screen now, the one with the smiley face, is where we want to be, that right-hand side as it is to me. And if we swing to the left, we get more and more depressed and down with very unhelpful behaviors and symptoms of things that are not going to serve us well. So I'm just looking at today, looking at ways we can keep in the right-hand side of this pendulum swing, and also some simple strategies to keep us there. So if you want to be extreme about it, one swing of the pendulum is where we're fearful all the time. We've got anxiousness and worry. The other side is resilience. And resilience generally is a good thing. I'm going to uncover some things today about it that you might not be aware of. But broadly speaking, I want to keep the right of this pendulum swing. You with me so far? Okay, nice and simple. So the left-hand side of the swing, where we don't want to be, we can have fear, anxiety, worry. We feel unmotivated at times. We have no routines, or the routines can be quite rigid. We don't do any exercise. We may do excessive alcohol or poor diet, maybe poor sleep patterns, hygiene, and not connected with the outside world, which is difficult, but it's not impossible. So it's the left side we don't want to be. And the more times we have this on the left side, the more times we're going to stay there. On the right side, the things we need to look at are mental toughness and resilience, very similar. Awareness of need. Okay, this awareness that I need to do something. Flexible routines. I'll come on to that. The routines are great, but if they're not flexible, they become obsessive. Regular and non-obsessive exercise. So some of the exercise is great, but if it's too obsessive, it's no good. So that's why I say non-obsessive exercise. Balanced diet, little or no alcohol. Consistent sleep hygiene, and connected appropriately given the things we're going through. Okay, so we want to be on the right, not as much on the left. The more times we stay in the right, the longer we stay there. The more times we stay in the left, get it? We stay there longer as well. It all comes down to awareness and knowledge. Okay, we need the right knowledge, and a lot of people have got a lot of knowledge, but they're not aware of the connection between the body and the mind, and vice versa, the mind with the body. Let me give you an example. So sometimes when I used to be stressed a long time ago, I had a lot of pain in my upper stomach. And this pain, I didn't know what it was at first. Why did that come on? Why is my stomach upset? And a lot of time that pain had come back because I was overthinking something, getting stressed about getting work, getting the right sort of work, getting the right sort of pay for the work. And I maybe get stressed about doing the exercises and doing too much, and I haven't got them in today, so I feel guilty. And basically, overthinking, overanalyzing, creating worry and tension. So I wasn't listening to what my body was saying. Okay? So when we listen to our bodies, it can inform our mind to think, why is that happening? Why is this happening? Equally, it might not be a physical thing in our body. It could be something that's emotional or cognitive, the sort of thinking thoughts that become, for instance, quite forgetful, or I can quite irrational. I can quite sensitive to noise. I can be non-decisive. I can be just wanting my own company and having my own sanctuary all the time. So that's a real shift of behaviors for me. And it's just being aware that these needs are appearing, okay? and listening to the body as well. So there's a connection between the two. One can inform the other. And it's so powerful, not just having the knowledge, knowing when and how and why you are thinking and feeling and acting in a certain way. That think, feel, do triangle. So what is this goal? This goal is to constantly check, be aware of what we need to do to keep this pendulum in the best side, the right side. Okay, that is the goal. Constant checking, thinking, evaluating, and then doing the right behaviors to keep the pendulum in the right hand side. Now, a few smiley faces, you can pick those up. The right hand side is where we want to be. When I say a word of warning right now, and this has happened to me, so I can speak with good authority here, that if we're too resilient, we're doing all the right things, we've got all the right knowledge, I'm doing my exercise, I'm doing my diet, I'm having my sleep, I'm working hard during the day, I'm relaxing at night and stuff, we can become too resilient, too locked onto this, and we've not built flexibility into our daily lives. And one day after another, what was fueling you and feeding you now is taken away from you, it's draining you. And that's what I'm saying, trying to stick onto things and be resilient all the time. I'll show you who's the best. I can stay inside the longest. I can do another hour of work. It will work against you. Your body will tell you, or your mind will say something to you, becoming irritable, anxious, not giving yourself congratulations for the work you have done, putting yourself down. This awareness is profound. And profound in as much that a lot of people experience the same symptoms but don't act on them. And I did that a few years ago. It led to a lot of panic attacks. I believe I'm quite resilient. I've got a lot of the underpinning factors, which I won't go into today. Okay, but I am more resilient these days because I'm aware when I need to slow that resilience down, take it down a big step or two, and don't push myself as much, and be more adaptable to the circumstances I find myself. A good example is I exercise most mornings, but some days I won't. And I'll celebrate the fact that I'm able to go for a coffee, read the paper, rather than exercise and feel guilty. I don't feel guilty about not doing the exercise. I'm listening to my body, I'm listening to my mind and my thoughts, and I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach. I'm flexing my routines. So if you want to keep that pendulum to the right-hand side, you've got to flex your routines and not be too resilient. And I come on to some real detail now in strategies. Okay, so it's about being aware of your mood, your sleep, your physical body issues, your diet, your alcohol, your sanctuary, your space, your contrast. As I mentioned before, being too resilient, achieving too much, not beating yourself up, congratulating yourself, talking and listening. Exercise, none are too little or too much. Obsessive behaviors, irritability, noise sensitivity, boredom, lack of self-worth, denial, argumentative, not being connected, opportunities, always living in threat and fear on that left-hand side of the pendulum. This is what awareness looks like, okay? You don't have to do it 24/7, but it's what it looks like. So I'm going to give you 8 helpful strategies, okay? Break your unhelpful routines. A unhelpful routine could be you're drinking too much, your poor diet, you're going to bed at random times and you're looking at your phone all night long and the room's not the right temperature and you're fretting about things. You know, try and break those unhelpful routines. The next bit you'll find difficult to accept, I've already hinted at it, break the helpful routines, building flexibility so you don't become obsessive. Have a treat meal now and again. Reduce your exercise or miss your exercise one part of the day. Do things differently. If you feel you want to watch a movie, then come back and do some work. Switch it around. Number 3 is the 4 core. We need some exercise. We need quality sleep hygiene. We need good organic food. And we need to be connected with the outside world, whether that's physically, which is difficult at the moment, but certainly on the webinars, certainly within your families, being connected is massive. And if you can, always get outside, do your exercise, get outside in your garden, talk to your family, be connected. Have small daily goals. Don't think if something goes wrong, oh, that's the waste of time. Think one step ahead. If Bradley Wiggins is cycling a mountain, he doesn't keep looking at the top of the mountain all the time because it would tire him out. He looks at the first thing in front of him. signpost, a rock on the road, a parked car. Small daily goals. Number 5 is a big one. Something it's took me years to get to. Self-congratulation. I'd rather you congratulate yourself more often than beat yourself up. Try and build that team Ross in my case. Well done, Ross, today. We're doing a presentation. We're giving out to other people. We're helping other people. If you're in families, congratulations of other people, even for simple things, gives people a big boost, whether they know it or not. Number 6, there's lots of things on the internet now as strategies in terms of breathing and visualization. When I say breathing, it could be anything. Just holding the breath, releasing it, holding it, and releasing it. There's lots of different ways of doing this. What it's trying to do is breathe in and out slowly, hold sometimes, sometimes not. Get your mind to stop thinking and fretting of all the things in your life. So the breathing must be accompanied by an empty mind as much as possible. If a negative thought comes in, imagine this. It's knocking on your front door. If it knocks on your front door, open the door and say, "Not today, thank you," and push it away. Okay, you've recognized it, acceptance, commitment therapy. You've recognized the thought and you've just pushed it away. If that thought keeps coming back, be at ease with this negativity, this fretting. Let this thought, this negativity come into the front door, come round your house, have a good look round. This could take seconds or minutes. And let it out the back door and say goodbye. That's being at ease with what's bugging you. Visualization linked to this, thinking of all the good stuff in a day. Visualize the end, visualize the future, visualize the opportunities when this pandemic is over, and it will be over. Visualize all the positive things that you're going to help yourself with, which links into number 7. Try not to be a continual consumer, consuming box sets, consuming food, consuming alcohol, and going for distraction all the time. Try and use your time profitably. Don't count your days, make the days count. Produce a change in yourself. Produce by helping other people on their journey. Produce a long-term goal. Use reflection. Produce products, ideas, creativity. It's a great way of taking yourself to the next step. Number 8, probably the most powerful on its own there, talking. Someone to talk to be vulnerable with. I can talk to loads and loads of people. It's only a handful of people I can talk to about my vulnerabilities. And sadly, a lot of men don't do this. So talking and being vulnerable is very powerful. And number 9, the environment. We are challenged in the environment. We can't go to nice countrysides at the sea, generally speaking, unless we live there. For the environment, getting outdoors, changing from room to room, okay? Maybe just sitting in your car in your driveway. These are the sort of things to change your environment to get to a sanctuary. Okay, I hope that's helped. I'll put this on YouTube now. Drop me an email at ross@rossmacwilliam.com or ross@mindsetpro.co.uk. Thanks for listening, and hopefully we've learned.